Welcome to our Game Week 8 wildcard options. Over 400,000 people activated their wildcard last week and have been in limbo ever since. We now have confirmation of the postponed Game Week 8 fixtures.
My wife and I have both constructed possible wildcard drafts for Game Week 8 to include a full Game Week 8 team and players we want going forward. With teams like Liverpool, Manchester United and Chelsea not playing this game week, we have to be mindful that we will want their players later in the season. So not just to bulk up on all players that are playing this week and think about the future as well.
So we have some players that are the same and some that differ. We've both chosen the same goalkeepers with Ward on the bench as he's the only guaranteed 4 million goalkeeper that will actually play, and Pope in goal, who's had a cracking start to the season with 28 saved and 3 clean sheets.
We've both got very similar defences. We've both got Cancelo.
Cancelo has had 3 clean sheets, 1 assist and 1 goal so far this season, which isn't too bad in 6 games.
No, and obviously they've got good, reasonable fixtures going forwards with Wolves who can't score at the moment, etc., etc. Although they have just signed Diego Costa, so that could be interesting. We've both got Trippier in our lineups. You've actually had him in your normal team for a while, whereas I haven't.
Yeah, he's been outstanding from day one, and he can get into those positions going forward for goals and assists,
Yeah,
as well
free
as keeping
kicks
those.
and stuff.
Yeah, as well as keeping those clean sheets. Both also have Reece James, who is a good attacking wing back and has already got a goal, assist, and a clean sheet for the season.
Yeah, and although he's not playing game week 8, he can sit on the bench this week. But going forward, game week 9 he's got Crystal Palace, then Wolves and Villa and Brentford, etc. So he's going to be one we want for our future. So we don't want to forget about these players.
And we both also have Nico Williams, that cheap defender who would predominantly go on the bench, obviously, apart from the postponed game week for next week, where he will come on. But he's guaranteed to play, he's cheap, and he has already got an assist and a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong for 4.1 million, can
No.
you really? Then we differ. I've gone Zinchenko. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about the upcoming Arsenal games for a defender with Brentford this week and then Spurs, Liverpool, Leeds and Man City, etc. But Zinchenko now he's back from injury. When he first kicked off, he scored 12 points in his first game. He got a clean sheet against Bournemouth. Unfortunate injury, but he is a midfielder that plays in defence, so he gets defensive points and attacking returns.
Yeah, I think you've chosen well there, actually. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe I should have gone that way. I didn't. I went with Nathan Collins, as they're so good defensively at the moment and keeping those clean sheets.
Yeah, my only concern with Wolves is they've got Man City
The
this
fixtures,
weekend.
as well.
Now we get to the part of the picture where our ideas differ. We've both got Martinelli.
So it was a coin toss with me, really, with Martinelli and Odegaard, as they're both 6.5 and they've both been on great form.
Yeah, I mean, you quite easily put Odegaard in. He's assisted and scored as well, so could have gone either way. The only other one we got the same is Leon Bailey.
Yeah, so Bailey will end up on my bench in future game weeks, but this is to cover the postponed game weeks, and he's cheap and also doing well.
Yeah, if you watched him play against Man City, he scored one. He could have had more. But to be fair, I don't think he'll play on my bench. To be honest, you look at the future fixtures: Southampton, Leeds, Forest, granted Chelsea. Then you have got Fulham and Brentford. He's got chances of points there.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
And now we are slightly different. We both got a Man City player, which is you would be mad not to have a Man City player in midfield. Mine, however, is a bit more expensive than yours.
Yeah, so I've gone with Bernardo Silva. So he's done pretty well so far this season, and he's not as expensive as De Bruyne.
Yeah, well, I've gone De Bruyne, but the reason you've done that is because you got more money up front, whereas I've spent more money in midfield. I've purposely put De Bruyne in. A, his assist ability, but B, if in the future Salah starts popping off, you want to be able to switch quickly. So I can switch to Salah from De Bruyne or back again without being an issue. Whereas, unfortunately, with the middle price midfielders, you'd have to do 2 transfers to do it.
Yeah, I do see where you're going with that. But for me, the forwards this season are so good That's where I want to be focusing more on. So we both have a United player. See, I went a bit risky here. So you've gone, safer with Rashford. Anthony's only played one game in the Premier League, which he did score a goal, but he did look quite kind of scatty. He needs time to
Yeah, he's
settle
out of
in, which
place.
I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah, well, Rashford gets to play up front as well, so I think Rashford's got the chance of scoring more goals. And I do see all I have in my head with Anthony is that viral video where he's spinning on the spot round and round in circles. And to be fair, when you watch him play, it's kind of how he plays. It's very erratic. It's very scatty. I I need stability.
I haven't seen that video. I kind of want to now. Yeah, so I completely get that, but I do think that he's going to be good, and I think that he's going to take the limelight away from Rashford.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see. But either way, that's a future issue because they're going to be on the bench. Then I have got. Oh, you've got Liverpool again, haven't you? You've got Luis Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually both got ones that go on the bench because I got Zaha who aren't playing because the Brighton Palace game has been cancelled. But I just like he's 7 million and he's consistent. He's scored 4 goals spread over games. You know he's going to get a goal here and there, an assist here and there, and he is one of the main attacking threats in that Crystal Palace team. And when I look at his future games, yes, it's Chelsea on game week 9, but then it's Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth. I can keep going on and on and on.
Mm.
I want Wilfred Zaha, and I can guarantee he will not be on my bench. He'll be in my team from game week 9 to game week 18 as long as he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, now I can see where you've gone with him. So I've gone Diaz. Fixtures aren't as great, but if you watch him play, he is just outstanding. He is such a good player. He just gets in position, he gets in space, he just looks for every opportunity that he can.
Yeah, even those games like when at United where they weren't looking great, he was the one player that stood out.
Mm.
He was the one player that put the effort in. He was the one player that yes, he scored, but you thought he was going to score. I didn't see
Mm.
that with other Liverpool players on that day.
So up front, we both have Haaland, which is very hard at this point not to have Haaland in your team. His stats just speak for himself, really.
Yeah, I think if you haven't got Haaland in your team, you're crazy, really. To be honest,
He just the second he walks onto that pitch, he just looks like he owns it, doesn't he?
yeah, he should be. He should be by now in everyone's team.
So other two forwards, it was very hard to look past Jesus. I know that you've got him,
Mhm.
but I went with Kane. So the reason why I put Kane in instead of Jesus is because with Arsenal, you've got the midfielders that are going to back up and they're going to take some goals and assists instead of Jesus. Where Spurs at the moment, you haven't got that.
Yeah, and I
Spurs,
normally have Son and
yeah,
Kulusevski, but they're not. They're not producing. So Kane is producing all the points.
he is exactly.
Yeah, but this is what the toss up was between me and you was you wanted Kane, so you had to drop down to Bernardo Silva, which is why I went
Hmm.
Jesus, so I could keep De Bruyne in there, so I had that balance. But that's one of our biggest changes. The other one we've done is I've gone Mitrovic and you've gone Ivan Toney. Now you could have gone either way quite comfortably. They're both
Mm.
on form. Now the reason I've gone Mitrovic is consistency. Tony is, in my mind, the explosive one where he's going to get no points, no points, 20 points. Whereas Mitrovic is plodding. He's a 8-9 pointer continuously. So you got if you go through the last 4 games are 6, 7, 9, and 5. To me, that's a lovely amount of consistency.
Yeah, I do see that, and I think it was very hard to choose between those two players. I like Tony. I think he's really, really on the ball at the moment, and he's just keeping that Brentford team alive.
I love Tony. I actually think Tony's a really, really good player. My only concern is, to me, in my mind, Tony. You pick Tony for certain games, whereas Mitrovic you don't need to. He will get something out of hard games.
Hmm. So, who are you going to captain for the week out of
I
that?
think it's absolutely crazy not to captain Haaland, isn't it? I do. You're going to say that Wolves haven't let many goals in. I know where you're going with this, but Haaland
No.
could score if you put 20 players on the goal line. It's just to me, it's Haaland. all day long. Vice captain De Bruyne on the real crazy chance that Pep has a mad moment and rests Haaland for the game. Otherwise, it's Haaland all day long for me. You?
You just look back at Wolves' last games though. 1-0, yes, that was against Southampton. Fine, you can argue that point. Then 0-0. Just they're getting so tight at the back there. So
Not this
I
game. It's going to be 5-0 to City.
we'll see. So I'm going to captain Kane as he's against Leicester, who have let in 16 goals this season so far.
The one other player I want to talk about is Alan St-Maximin, and he may well be in my team come game week 8. He's currently put down as injured, and he is still injured, but he's back in training. They were hoping to have him ready for game week 7, so the chance of having him back for game week 8 is really high. His explosiveness is unbelievable, and Newcastle getting better and better. I may well put him in my team.
Yeah, that's an absolute shout.
For more videos like this, please like and subscribe.